It works in theory, but I'm not sure if it's going to work in the real world. And 5 seconds to stabilization.
We make a great team, son.
But all of a sudden you just want to check alone, like you don't trust my work.
Is time travel possible? Yes, and you're doing it right now, hurtling into the future at an impressive 1 second per second. You're always moving through time at the same rate, whether you're watching paint dry or wishing you had more hours to visit with an out-of-town friend. For decades, time travel and time machines have been the subject of science fiction and countless films. Indeed, it appears that the ability to travel in time, either into the future or into the past, has captivated mankind's imagination for centuries. While many people believe it is impossible to travel backwards or forwards in time, some of the world's most brilliant scientists have investigated whether it is possible to do so one day. In his later years, Albert Einstein, for example, came to the conclusion that the past, present, and future all exist concurrently, and most are familiar with his well-known concept of relativity. That is, time is relative rather than absolute, as Newton claimed. With the right technology, such as a fast spaceship, one individual may experience several days, while another only experiences a few hours or minutes. However, Einstein's convictions had little effect on cosmology or science in general. The majority of physicists have been slow to abandon our common assumptions about time. However, if time travel were truly possible, one can only imagine what this would mean for humanity. Whoever had the ability to travel through time could change history. While this may appear appealing, it would be impossible to predict the consequences of any changes to past events and how they would affect the future. A number of references to time travel can be found in ancient texts. The story of King Raivata Kadkudmi, who travels to meet the creator Brahma, is found in Hindu mythology. Even though this trip was brief, by the time Kadkudmi returned to Earth, 108 yugas had passed, with each yuga representing approximately 4 million years. Brahma explained to Kadkudmi that time runs differently in different planes of existence. Similarly, the Quran makes mention of the cave of Al-Kahf. The story is about a group of young Christians who tried to flee persecution in 250 AD and retreated to a cave where Allah put them to sleep. They then awoke after 309 years. With a few exceptions, this story parallels the Christian story of the 7 sleepers. Another story comes from the Japanese legend of Urashima Taro, who was said to have visited the dragon god Ryujin's underwater palace. He stayed for 3 days, but when he returned to the surface, it had been 300 years. According to the Buddhist text Pali Canon, time moves at a different pace in the heaven of the 30 devas, the place of the gods, where 100 Earth years count as a single day for them. Many more references to time travel can be found in ancient mythology and religion. The Philadelphia experiment, which allegedly took place in 1943 with the goal of cloaking a ship and making it invisible to enemy radar, is possibly the most well-known story of accidental time travel. However, it was claimed that the experiment went horribly wrong, as the ship not only vanished from Philadelphia, but was also teleported to Norfolk and time traveled for 10 seconds. When the ship reappeared, some crew members were physically fused to bulkheads. Others developed psychiatric disorders. A few vanished entirely, and others claimed to have traveled into the future and back. Nikola Tesla, who was the director of engineering and research at Radio Company of America at the time, allegedly participated in the experiment by performing all necessary calculations and drawings, as well as providing the generators. Another intriguing case report from 1960 comes from scientist Pellegrino Ernetti, who claimed to have invented the chronovisor, a machine that allows people to see into the past. His theory was that everything that occurs leaves an energy imprint that can never be erased, something like the mystical Akashic records. Ernetti is said to have created a machine that could detect, magnify, and convert this energy into an image, similar to how a TV shows what happened in the past. There are reports of another controversial time travel experiment, the Montauk Project, which allegedly experimented with time travel, among other things. In the 1980s, the validity of the Philadelphia and Montauk experiments is still being debated. However, it is reasonable to assume that the military would be fascinated by the possibility of time travel and would conduct extensive research on the subject. Marlon Polman, a scientist, engineer, and Mensa member with a bachelor, MBA, and PhD, applied for a patent in 2004 for a gravity distortion and time displacement method. Wasfi Al-Shdaifat applied for a new patent in 2013 for a space compression and time dilation machine that could be used for time travel. According to physics.org, in 2006, University of Connecticut physicist Professor Ronald Lawrence Mallet was working on the concept of time travel based on Einstein's theory of relativity. Mallet was absolutely certain that time travel was possible at the time. He predicted that in our century, humans will be able to travel back in time. Particle physicist Brian Cox, quoted in a 2013 HuffPost article, agreed that time travel is possible, but only in one direction. There is also the mysterious story of Ali Razeki, managing director of the Iranian Center for Strategic Inventions, who claimed to have developed a device that could see anywhere from 3 to 5 years into the future, according to the Daily Mail. His first story vanished from the internet just a few hours after it was published. Another one of the most credible stories, Andrew Carlson, was a man who earned approximately $350 million from stocks that he purchased for only $800. Andrew was apprehended by the SEC and told authorities that he was a time traveler from the future. He even stated that in 2006, he would provide the cure for AIDS and the location of Osama bin Laden's hiding place. He mysteriously vanished a few days later, leaving no trace. Another tale of time travel is of two women of France, Charlotte Anne Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain, who went to the Palace of Versailles. They went to the Petit Trianon and ended up getting lost in a small lane. They stumbled through the lane and came to a stop in front of strange men wearing three-point hats. They also saw a man in a long coat and a fair lady wearing a white hat. Later, Moberly and Jourdain realized they had traveled back in time to the 1700s and had seen Marie Antoinette. Overall, the issue of time travel remains a hot topic that sparks numerous debates. The advancement of science and significant progress in space exploration made this aspect particularly exciting, as these factors contributed to the theoretical possibility of using a spaceship and a wormhole to travel to another dimension and time. The unending fascination with this question also influenced the appearance of the many-world interpretation of our universe and the multiverse model that encompasses all dimensions. Furthermore, the single self-consistent timeline framework could be used to support the concept of time travel and ensure that it does not result in the appearance of multiple time paradoxes. Furthermore, the question of time travel is linked to the concept of time paradoxes, which are expected to result in the collapse of the universe or other significant problems. This obnoxious intervention is suggested as one of the primary reasons why time travel is impossible, and time paradoxes serve as a guarantee that it will never happen. So that's the end of the video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and press the notification bell so you never miss out on our next videos. Until the next video, take care.